was the sound of Benin City yesterday, Friday, the 11th of November, 2022. Edo State stood still for Peter Gregory Obi and the Labour Party. It is something like has never been seen before. It was a clear confirmation that Edo State is leading the way as far as the Obidient revolution is concerned. Nigerian people, I am glad to welcome you to this broadcast. I beg, if you did join us for this broadcast, please share this broadcast. It's very important, it's very key, because Hope 2023 is alive. Changing the narrative with the Nigerian people is alive. A new Nigeria is possible, as expressed by Peter Obi and his team, believed by Nigerians, carried by the people of Nigeria all across the world, endorsed mightily by Edo State. My people, make una share this broadcast. Hey! Edo State stood still against all odds. I saw what happened for Abia State. I was like, wow, this is massive. I had seen what did happen since for all other states. Massive. But the pure confirmation that Peter the Rock is going to Aso Rock took place in Edo State. My people, we go jejely analyze this matter yesterday. For me, the euphoria was too much. I never feel come live. Though I am not in Nigeria, but I was present in the 3 senatorial districts of Edo State, monitoring activities. As a matter of fact, no party in Edo State should campaign any longer. No PDP and APC, pack your load and just jejely sit down for inside cooler. Hey! Edo State, thank you. Edo people, thank you. My people want to share this broadcast because there are some points where we say, I want to analyze with this broadcast. Very important point. But I want to start this broadcast with just a brief review. Credit to Channels Television. Make we watch, small analysis, how Channels Television take capture the matter. Then when we come back, then we will go from there. They do the analysis. Can I get that Channels TV? I think I had that Channels TV. This thing. I think this is it. Yes, we'll take a listen to Channels Television, my people. Wanna go?
Scenes of the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, today in Benin City, the Edo State capital, with a visit to the palace of the Oba of Benin, Oba Iware II. He arrived to a surge of the party supporters who erupted into a frenzy at the palace where they had been waiting for him. Once in the presence of His Majesty, Mr. Obi states his mission.
We want to do Nigeria. We have a country called Nigeria, but we don't have Nigeria. We want to give the youth future. We have talented youth, too much energy. We want to put resources in their hands. We have vast uncultivated land in the north. That's our next story. That's where we want to. We want to unlock it. We want to be able to tell Nigeria that it wasn't a misplacing that we found oil in your place, but to start rebuilding it. Not build a government of empathy. If there's fraud, we'll go sympathize with people, show that there's governance, that there's government.
Meanwhile, the Oba of Benin had his response to the Labour Party's presidential candidates, which must have sounded like music to his ears.
Many people that seem to be what they call obedient, that seem to be obedient. That's not what they say when they are with obedient. I'm just out of curiosity, I've asked a small child. I've asked an old man, middle age. You just get a sense of what is really going on with this new guy in town. Do you know Peter Obi? I'll ask the little child. Little child. Surprisingly, they'll say yes. I said, how do you know Peter Obi? When I say little child, I mean really little child, between 12 and 14 or so thereabout. And old men also gray hair, the 90-year-olds and all that. So I wonder if these people that are saying there's only social media, if they are, anyway, let me not go there. Because here, the prediction.
Well, Nigerians, the last you heard from there was from the Oba of Benin, who can confirm that the Obidient revolution is real. He's had to, consult little children, young people, elderly, most elderly in society. Everybody seemed to know who Peter Obi is. Everybody seemed to endorse Peter Gregory Obi. And of course, the palace of the Omonoba of Benin will not come out and publicly give endorsement. But of course, we can read into the body language of the palace. Well, the palace of the Omonoba of Benin is a palace that stands firmly with the people of Edo State. And so we're not going to put words in the mouth of the Oba of Benin, but the Omonoba of Benin is a Royal Majesty Oba Ewa II Oba Atokbe, confirms the presence of the Obidient revolution. Nigerians, here we are. I am going to personally start this broadcast first and foremost by going back to like about 3 days ago. I made a broadcast to alert the world to the antics of the government of Edo State. And I premised my broadcast on if it is true, that is how the proper Benin man judges. Or way, if it is true, because the feelers came to me that the government of Edo State, the government under Governor Baseki, refused to grant the stadium for the Obidient rally. They refused. And when I got that information, I confirmed from sources, inside sources, they refused to grant the Ogbe Stadium. They refused to grant the Garrick Memorial Ground. They refused to grant even the King Square. To the extent that even when the organizers of this campaign approached UBTH to use the UBTH, was a convention ground or conference ground or whatever it is, coincidentally, they were equally refused, according to sources. Coincidentally. And why I use the word coincidentally is that the current or of UBTH is equally an Obaseki. And people began to... The team equally approached University of Benin to use the sports complex of University of Benin. And they were refused. So it looked like, the Benin man says, when lie resembles truth, you somewhat will believe. He said there was not a coincidence that all of these things are happening. And I came back, Matt, on Tuesday evening to raise that awareness and, of course, bring everybody's sensibilities to this matter as to why the government of Edo State should allow a level playing field for everybody. And I did say that when we say election is free and fair, it is not just what happened on election day. Election is judged free and fair before election day, on election day, and even post-election day. Now, if Atiku Abubakar can use the Ogbe Stadium for his own campaign 3 weeks ago or so, and Obi Peter Obi cannot use the same Ogbe Stadium because of government standing in the way. Then there's a problem. Then the election cannot be adjusted to be free and fair, even though we have not had the elections. Because everybody, as far as a national election, must have a level playing field. Nigerians, more than just they listen. If you are there, you have any iota of say you are obedient or you are hoping to become obedient, you have the responsibility and the duty to share this message that I'm giving right now. It's very important because we do our bit here. The joy is that many of us who are out there watching may not come out on social media like this, but you're sharing our broadcast is helping to deepen democracy in Nigeria. You must recognize that. And when I flagged up that matter, so many other people picked it from there, and it became a national discourse to the extent that Channels Television put the governor of Edo State on the spot to ask him why is he refusing the Obidient team Ogbe Stadium. Make una listen to waiting our governor talk. Make una listen. I want to show you the clip because this video, I not just come here, can't just talk about the euphoria of what happened in this. We must talk about leading to this process. Let's take a listen to what the governor of Edo State said in his response to why he stopped, why he refused to approve Ogbe Stadium for the Benin people. Let's take a listen.
Let me ask you, did you refuse the Labour Party the venue in which they plan to hold their rally in Benin City today?
Well, there are several venues in Benin for rallies. I heard that they applied on the 9th, on Wednesday night, to hold a rally at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium on Friday morning, giving us 1 day notice. The tracks and for that stadium are still under warranty. The pitch has to be maintained in a certain mode. So it's just not another facility you just can go in and use without preparing. If they knew they had a rally on Friday 11th, why couldn't they give more time and more notice so that we give them the conditions under which they can use the pitch? The same thing we did to PDP when they wanted to use the pitch. And the only reason why we allowed the PDP rally was because it was also used as an opportunity to commission that facility. Otherwise, most other rallies are held in other large grounds around the city. So I think I expected more from the Labour Party. I thought they were more serious. You cannot be planning for a rally on a Friday and be given less than 24 hours notice.
And the allegation is that you are afraid of the Labour Party and the Peter Obi factor, and that's why you have done what you did to deprive them. Perhaps, were you able to give this explanation to them? Because you made an earlier comment, and they said they were going to show you and your party that they were on the ground, and that's why you did what you did. Those are the allegations coming from the Labour Party.
Well, show me the joke. Well, they can show us virtually, but not on the ground. We are on ground. We'll see. It's February 23rd. Anyway, that's not the issue at stake. The issue here is that I expect, that they should be more serious. I spoke to my friend Peter Obi the night before. He told me he was coming to Edo State, and we offered him all the courtesies, including security and some logistics. But I didn't know they were coming for a rally, and I didn't, for me, the issue didn't even come up to me. The people who had to deal with the issue at the Sports Commission, know what to do, and they did what they had to do professionally.
Nigerians, that was the response of the governor of Edo State. I don't know if I'm going to comment on his response, but I know that Nigerians are smart, Nigerians are wise, Nigerians know when something is truth and when something is lie. But I'll leave Nigerians to make that judgment. So this interview confirmed my suspicion, because when I was making that broadcast, I said, if it is true, if it was so, the average Benin man, a proper Benin man, would make his judgment. If it indeed it happened like that, and I did say that if it is confirmed that the government of Edo State did stand in the way of this rally, then the aftermath of it will not be nice. I will not go into the aftermath because a man cannot predict the temper of a chick still in its egg. That is what Olarotimi made me understand. But I do know that beyond yesterday, today I'm moving forward. The story for Edo State, particularly for Edo State government, in relation to the people of Edo State, has changed. Has changed. And look, if you're there, share this broadcast, they should hear. They should hear. Before I come into, into praising the Obidient in Edo State, let me quickly set some records straight. If people name human pillars that stood to get Governor Obaseki elected in 2020, I am sure that before a few names are mentioned, my name will be mentioned. I worked tirelessly, like so many Edo people did. But some of us were really, on the forefront. We were there consistently. We had an unwavering commitment to get the governor elected. And we believed very strongly that Governor Obaseki was going to turn the fortunes of Edo State around. Today, our expectations are not being met. There have been so many here and there. But we have time, going forward to be analyzing some of these things. I have sat down, when complaints are coming, I have sat down to look at the manifesto of Governor Obaseki and the promises made, and look at what the government of Edo State is dispensing today. There are things we can say, okay, these ones are fair, reasonably. There are others that we have not seen signs of. But we are going to have time to look into all of these. But 2 years into the administration, holistically, people cannot conveniently say that this government is meeting the expectations of Edo State people. But we'll come into that. That's not the subject of discourse today. But why I'm bringing this in is because ever since the governor was elected, and ever since Edo people predominantly started getting disenchanted with governance in Edo State, I have very much been at the receiving end because I publicly supported the governor of Edo State. So if anything happens anywhere, my phone, people call me to just rain insults. People send me text message of insults. People do all sorts of things to me. Not just say till yesterday, it is happening today, it's probably still going to happen tomorrow and the day after. And the only reason why that is happening is because a lot of people blame the likes of me, and many people were very vocal to say that we are the ones who foisted the governor on the people of Edo State. Now, I want to make something very clear here, people. And I'm saying this very emphatically. I am a man who go after my own passion. I am a Nigerian. I am a child of Edo State. I am a child of the United Kingdom of Great Benin. I live abroad, and I have lived abroad for decades. I have seen much of the rest of the world. Probably, if you talk of advanced countries in this world, probably the only place I have not been to would be Australia, Japan, maybe China. But I've seen much of the rest. And my passion and desire always is that my state and my country is a better place for all of us. My passion and desire always is that we have a country that will live for our children, our children's children. My passion and desire is that so long as God gives me breath, every day I live, I should have a contribution towards making my state and Nigeria better. And so anytime there's an election like this, I will always choose a path that I believe in. So my belief is exactly what drove me to support Obaseki. Without regret. I must add that. Without regret. Because I can tell you, Edo State people, that when I listen from another, share this is very important because I may not say this again ever. I can tell you, if 2020 was to repeat itself again in the same way it did, I will still stick my neck out for Governor Obaseki. And I'll tell you why. First, let me quickly establish, as I'm standing here, let anybody quote me, whether directly, indirectly, overtly or covertly, I am not owing Obaseki, his campaign, or any member of his team a dime. As a matter of fact, if there's somebody owing somebody, Obaseki and his government, they are owing me so much. And I don't think they can even ever pay. Because when I was supporting Obaseki, I supported Obaseki with my body, my soul, my spirit. And I put everything on the line. My money. I was the person hosting Governor Obaseki on this platform. Myself and my team. Credit to them. On this platform. Every week, for more than 5 weeks before election, we created that platform to sell Obaseki to the world. And I can tell you, without mixing words, let anybody come out and say, now so we give them 1 naira. I spent my money. We spent our money to do all of those setup. I don't owe anybody explanation. As a matter of fact, I don't mean I leave that side. But all of this things happened because we wanted the best for Edo State. We felt that the two major people that were thrown out into the campaign in 2020, the better of the two of them was Obaseki. And I have no regret with that. And I'll tell you the reason why I don't have regret even till today. I can tell you, from my own calculation, part of the reason why we supported this Obaseki, if it was the other candidate who won and became governor of Edo State, one of the things we felt was, I personally felt, was that we do not want the Tinubu Lagos hegemony in Benin or in Edo State, for instance. I can tell you that if it was APC that was in government in Edo State since 2020, today, Edo State would have been grossly, brutally Tinubulized. And that itself would have met with a very huge challenge to even this obedient movement that we're having right now. There's so much, that there's a limit to which Governor Obaseki can do supporting PDP. But I can tell you that even Tinubu tried to meddle into the process at the time. As a matter of fact, Tinubu tried to meddle into the election in Edo State 2020 was one of the things that drove many people because people don't want to have a semblance of Lagos and what Tinubu is doing to Lagos to happen in Edo State. Whether we want to, we lack Obaseki or we don't lack Obaseki, there are certain things that we cannot forget in a hurry that is not happening today in Edo State. Edo State is no longer agberorized as it used to be. That itself is something that is good for everybody. That as an ordinary person, based on the content of your character, you can actually contest an election in Edo State. And if you are popular enough, you can win. I think we cannot forget that in a hurry. Before Obaseki came aboard, nobody has a say. But today, even when Obaseki is trying to stand in the way of the obedient revolution, we are able to have a say and tell the government and the governor that this is Edo State. It belongs to Edo State people. Edo State people, they are the head. When the head moves, the head moves. When the mob moves, the mob moves. It was not always so. And so for us to break that jinx of anything like Godfatherism or anything like that, we needed to support Obaseki, because with the opposite side, we couldn't have done that. If they had won, we would have been predominantly silenced. And so, based on that, I'm not regretting. Now, on the issue of governance and the promises made, we will have time, even on this comrade show, to bring brains together to analyze all of those things. We are going to analyze these things dispassionately. We are going to look at all the campaign promises made. And we are going to start looking at where are these things on the ground. That is where we are going to make that, how we are going to make that judgment. So it's not for me to say, but if Obaseki chooses to become a godfather in Edo State, like we fought for him against for godfatherism, I will say this without fear of intimidation, that there will be no room for it. There will never be any political godfather in Edo State, to the extent that such godfatherism will stand in the way of the people of Edo State. We will stand up to him, or whoever that matter. Because Yahweh Bege, put others in your shoes. So, whether I come out right now and become very critical of Governor Obaseki or not, believe me, if the choices presented in 2020 repeated itself the same way, the same environment, my brother and my sister, I will still stand with Governor Obaseki and make Boto say that without regret. If there are better choices that we can verify, then we can begin to have a different discussion. Because the choices presented and with the antics, I mean, people, all of you guys that have been insulting me, throwing stones at me, doing this, doing that, do I know Obaseki from before? Was it not Shomolo brought Obaseki and foisted Obaseki on the people of Edo State? Was it not the same Oshomole who wanted to become all and all, that even drew the sympathy of the people of Edo State to the side of Obaseki? So at the end of the day, there's a history behind all of these things. Anyway, that one don't pass. I'm going to put this thing out there, because I think it's an opportunity to do so. Now, Edo people, we called. I will not take any glory for this. I will not take any credit for it. But I want to say that the collectivism of the Edo State bloggers all across, you guys shown that when the head moves, the head moves. When the mob moves, the mob moves. The mob is Edo State. The people of Edo State, they are the constructive mob that wants Nigeria to change. And one thing you must love about Edo State is this. We don't care. All we want is justice. We want fairness. We want progress. We don't care who is there to give us that progress. And that's why when Edo people move, they move. Believe me, if you're out there, you are still undecided. Look, don't waste time. Join the Obidient revolution. Join very quickly. Day before yesterday night, I was at work. I met this Yoruba guy. I met him a few nights. We constantly discuss this issue of politics. Previously, weeks ago, he told me that, oh, well, Obi is the man. Some time later, I met him again. He started saying, my brother, they are all the same thing. Then I now met him 3 nights ago. The guy was telling me that Tinubu is the man. Tinubu is very healthy. We should not look at it like that. The way the guy was sounding, a bag of rice is now over 50,000. The dollar is skyrocketing like no man's land. A bag of cement is now around 5,000 naira. Cost of living in Nigeria is in fact, people cannot survive anymore. Even myself here, I am strained because of the people I'm supporting in Nigeria. I am deeply strained. Never before in the history since I was born have I been this strained economically. You go 700,000, go give somebody 3 days time, the person is hungry again. A piece of fish goes for 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira, and this human being is telling me that Tinubu is the man who is fit to become president. This same Tinubu was the one who foisted this government on Nigeria. And yet Tinubu has not criticized anything about this government. Tinubu is ill, he's unwell. And we see all of these antics. I stopped, I didn't say any word anymore. But when it was time for us to close in the morning, the boy came to me. He said, bros, please, so I will follow you to city center in your car. And I told him, go and take Tinubu to drop you in city center. And I'm going forward. My relationship with you, as far as this work is concerned, is suspended until after election. I have no meeting ground with you. I cannot afford to have you in my car, take you to city center. Because anybody who is like you is an enemy of Nigeria. Is an enemy of this country. That is how far it is with me now. I have told a few persons, I said, man, look, we are friends. No problem. But because of our ideological differences currently, and because I don't see any semblance of sense in the argument you are making, our relationship as friends is suspended until after election. Until you get sense. Because this country is affecting me and affecting millions. And when you come out, like people like Festus Keyamo, shameless arguments they make, then it becomes a problem for many of us to comprehend. And then those people understand this majorly. And that is why what you saw happen in Edo State did not happen accidentally. It happened because Edo State people have a firm understanding that Nigeria is not moving in the right direction. And so when Peter Obi's train visited Uromi Palace in Eastern Land, the people responded. And we saw this. Uromi locked everywhere down for Peter Gregory Obi. Uromi, as a matter of fact, Uromi was locked down totally. And when I saw Uromi, I saw areas like Auchi and all of those other places. I began to tell myself that it was probably nice that the government of Edo State did not grant Ogbe Stadium. Because if they had, we would not have been able to measure the followership and the support. They deny Ogbe Stadium, they deny Garrick Memorial, they deny Key Square, they deny UBTH ground, they deny Ugbo Sports Complex. But you know what? The entire Edo State became the venue. The entire Edo State became the venue. I am unapologetically obedient. Oh my God. Oh my God. I said, we don't see obedient movement before, But, my people, this is an extended night of obedience. Have not seen, ears have not heard what the Lord God promises to do with Nigeria using Peter Obi. And that's why I say that Peter the Rock must get to also rock. Unapologetically, we are not regretting. And one thing must sound very clear. People have reminded me, oh, the same way you supported Obaseki, you are not supporting Peter Gregory Obi. Look, there is no way to find the art of the man's construction on the face, according to William Shakespeare. There is no way. But as a political animal, as a man like many others all across the world who want the best for Nigeria, we must choose a side. That's why we have chosen Mr. Gregory Obi. He has shown to us the capacity he's got. And we recognize, based on the failure of Buhari in the last 7 years, that this next election must be about competence, about preparedness. It must be about a human being who will not be taking time to travel abroad for medical vacation. It must be about a human being who will understand the rule of law and the need for separation of powers, and not immoral fusion of powers, where you no longer recognize the legislative arm from the judiciary or from the executive arm. It must be a man who has expressed the willingness to strengthen the institutions of the Nigerian state. And the only man who's speaking that language is Peter Gregory Obi. And I dare say that even as we are massively supporting Peter Gregory Obi right now, if Obi becomes president, and president he must be, 1 year, 2 years down the line, we find out that he's not meeting our expectations, we will be bold enough to come out and call him to order without regret. It is my duty as a Nigerian to support a good candidate for president. If the president fails, it is equally my duty to come out publicly and say, you are failing in this direction, you are failing in that direction. Retrace your steps. As it was my duty 2 years ago to support the man I believe, Governor Obaseki. Now, if we astray, looking at the programs, the promises made to Edo State people, and we find out the governor is not meeting those promises, it will equally be my duty to call the governor and his team to order. Edo State does not belong to Governor Obaseki. Edo State belongs to Edo State people. And if today, Governor Obaseki and his government, they are in place without a viable House of Assembly, nobody is even telling the government this is wrong, or this one should be done this way. Everything just appears to be like the few members of the House of Assembly and the executive, they appear to be, one thing. No critical analysis of anything. No critical debate. There is no local government. So Edo State is just the executive arm alone. That is not a problem. But we shall look at the promises made. If they have not been met adequately, we will speak out. We will do the job of Edo State House of Assembly for the Edo State House of Assembly. When I say we, Edo State people, because Edo State belongs to all of us. Let me not deviate. Let's come back to Obidient Revolution in Edo State. We are setting the pace. Otaru Palace. These are the movement to Otaru Palace. That's another sign. All of this I'm telling you right now, it's not like it's in one place. So these are different places all across Edo State. All across different places. Different places all across the state. Mounting support for the governor of Edo State. Mounting support. Of human beings who understand that the time has come for us to speak with our strength. Endless sea of Edo State people in their commitment, in their belief that this time must be different. This, Onoje. My people, I also end this broadcast. Fellow Nigerians, I stand here with all sense of humility and purpose to say a very big thank you to the people of Edo State. And I want Nigerians to understand this, that we have led the way in this Obidient revolution. Obi is not a Benin man. For many of you may not understand, there is a Benin man who is running as vice president in this election. A proper Benin man. He's running with NNPP. But the Benis don't look at that. What the Benis see, and this is why the whole world of Nigeria, must anchor lots of things around the belief system of the Benin people, of the Edo State people. When I mean Benin, when you hear me call Benin, I'm not just referring to the Edo-speaking people alone. I'm referring to all of the kingdoms that make up the entire Benin kingdom. Talking of Esan, Onwa, Esako, all of those nations within the kingdom that is now called Edo State. Even beyond, because the United Kingdom of Great Benin, they extend far beyond, even to Rivers, part of Rivers State, or the whole of Delta State, all of those areas, many of them can trace their roots down to Benin Kingdom. And that is why somehow there's always this close similitude in thinking and a way of doing things. And when these people move, they don't move by sentiment. They are not moved, by, say this one they do or the other one they do. Benin people are the people who uphold injustice the most in Nigeria. It doesn't matter. The Edo-speaking people of Benin Kingdom, they make up nearly 70% of the voting bloc of the state. And yet, they distribute power in a most balanced manner. When Oshomole became governor, and a Edo-speaking person could have actually become the governor of Edo State. But the Benin saw that there is a need for balance and equity. They supported Oshomole, irrespective. And right now, the Benis understand the United Kingdom of the Great Benin Nation, from Edo State to the Ikwere to Delta State to all of those regions. They understand that if Nigeria must be sustained, there is need for us to have a sensible balance. There is need for us to have a nation that recognizes that this nation is made up of different nations. May I see whether this person this broadcast they call for? Hello? Yeah, I'm on live broadcast. Can I call you back, please? Thank you. You understand what I'm saying now? So that is what determines the rhythm of the Edo people. And that is why Governor Baseki, with all due respect, I am afraid to say, with all the intimidation, are you people aware that all the billboards that have Peter Obi's poster in Edo State, they have all been removed and replaced with article? So when somebody tells me that Governor Obaseki is obedient. Somebody told me that recently, and I told the person, please just carry your matter and move away from here. That is Obaseki is just trying to appease Atiku Abubakar. We are not interested. We are not interested. As a matter of fact, this is the truth. The Obidient family in Edo State, from the feelers I'm even getting, they don't even want the governor to defect into Labour Party. They don't want him. Let him stay with PDP. It is time that our politics is driven by strong ideology, irrespective whether you are losing or losing. It must not be a matter of personal interest alone. But in any case, Obaseki is not obedient. It's not. They have never been. I don't see him so. So for those who just want to say Obaseki is obedient, let's not look. Man, show me your friends and I will show you who you are. Now, I'm about to release this information. Somebody called me. This thing happened around Adolo College in Ugbawa, Benin City. Governor Obaseki went to that area to go and oversee certain projects, as the case is, somewhere in Benin City. And one guy was putting on a face cap designed with Obi and Labour Party and every other thing. And so people came out to meet the governor while he was doing his inspection. It was the guy who called me himself to tell me what had happened. I wasn't there. And the guy now, indicated he wanted to ask the governor a question. And the response of the governor was, before you ask your question, take that cap down. Remove that cap from your head before you ask your question. And the man said, without due respect, I will not remove my cap. Then forget it. And the guy walked out of the crowd. He was not allowed to ask his question because he was putting on Obidient cap. He called me, he told me, this has been like weeks ago. I felt sad. So when somebody else was telling me just a few days ago, saying, man, when I did my broadcast, the guy was saying, man, look, Governor Obaseki is obedient. Obaseki is not obedient. I told him the person the same story. That you are a governor of a state. A governor of those who voted for you and those who did not vote for you. A governor of those who will support you today and will not support, and those who will not support you today. And for those that you see that we are not going to support you, they must be out of the way. They are no longer a those state citizen. So I will still judge this matter. Like I said when the guy was telling me, like when the guy was telling me this story, I said, well, like an average Benin man would judge that if it was so, if indeed it happened so, the governor did not do well. And I'm saying that publicly. If that young man told me was true, I'm saying it publicly that the governor did not do well if that story is true. The man said eventually when he left the crowd, some of the aides of the governor came to meet him to say, man, that the guy should not take it to heart, that the guy should what is the question the guy wanted to ask? And the guy said, to hell with you guys. Why should I give you guys a question that I wanted to ask the governor when I've already been told not to ask the governor because I'm putting on Peter Obi's card. No army can stop any idea which time has come. Everybody must recognize this. The governor of Edo State must open up his mind and all his people to accommodate dissenting voices. That is when we can deem election to be free and fair. Today, Obi is not having equal right with everybody. But even at that, the determinant of who become president, state by state, is the people of different states and different constituencies. And today, by yesterday, those state people have made the case very clear. APC, PDP, Mona Fanwe, Mona Wango campaign. A chieftain of Labour told me this morning, he said, comrade, go and take my word for it. Those states will not give Peter Obi anything less than 80% of their total vote cast. It was grossly demonstrated. Our work now is to put pressure on INEC to make sure they release all the PVCs in their possession to the people of Edo State and people of Nigeria. Nigerians, Edo people, thank you very much. Nigerian people, borrow a leaf from Edo State. Let us give our support to Peter Gregory. Let us be assured that tomorrow, the Nigeria tomorrow is in the hands of people who are competent, people who are not sick, people who have a clear idea, clear agenda. And Peter Obi's effect is already showing that. It was when Peter Obi raised the alarm of serious crude oil theft by those in government. Today, we have discovered over 100 diversion on our pipelines by people in government because Obi raised the alarm. Just imagine Obi is president. Let's see whether this person wants to talk for program. Hello. Hello.
Hello, I greet you, my able comrade.
I greet you. I'm on live broadcast. So you want to talk something?
I want to talk for the matter, my brother.
Just go ahead, my brother. You have some 1 minute or 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate the good job that you are doing. And I throw away hands for my Edo people. I salute them. Kudos to them.
Absolutely.
In fact, I'm really proud. I know this year. I know this for my people. Is guaranteed that say Edo now for Peter Obi.
Square.
You understand me now?
Yeah.
I salute my Edo people. I trust my people. I trust my brother. Let me tell you something, to be honest with you, I know a lot of my money I contributed for the emergence of Governor Obaseki. I'm highly disappointed. But to come to the glory, when this is just whether you want the politics, that disguise as a blessing. Yeah. Look what happened yesterday. The whole of Edo State was shut down. The territorial zone was shut down. You understand me now? To God be the glory. Make Peter Obi go the last.
Edo is in the back.
He has dropped you up Edo. You understand me now?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm one of those people that campaign for this man, our governor. I'm highly disappointed about him.
Anyway,
God bless you. Carry on with a good job.
Thank you, bro. God bless you, sir. God bless you. Well, today is not to. It's not to. We are not carrying out any analysis of Governor Obaseki right now. But based on what did not happen, we must reflect on those things. But I'm sure by the end of this month, we're having a very elaborate program to discuss Edo State 2 years into his second term of administration of Governor Obaseki. Let's take another caller. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, comrade.
Good morning, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from, sir?
My name is Osama Siolago. I'm calling from Spain.
Go ahead, sir. Just 1 minute, sir.
I'm just watching your broadcast now. There is a dream I have concerning this PVC issue. The strategies I dream about now is each state that Peter Obi went to, that they see that Peter Obi have massive followers. They will send people there to the INEC office to go and burn it down. So the population will be vote from that state. That is the dream I had. So I'll be praying to find a platform to bring this information out. And somebody just there is a video I watched on Facebook yesterday that they have started this in whether Osun State or one state like that they are starting from INEC office. When they see any state that Peter Obi have more population, that they will know that Peter Obi is going to win that state, they will send people there to go and burn the INEC office so that those voters cards that people will use to vote Peter Obi on that day will be burned. So that is the dream I had. Okay. I just have to bring it out to the general public.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for bringing it out. I'm sure that everybody. Please share this broadcast. Make the Obi go see him by the grace of God. Everybody go see him, so that because the Benin man says more, no nowhere as well. Catching leg. Who get leg? No, will leave leg. Make the catcher now, isn't it? Will they see? Thanks for releasing the dream. Those who say they work on dream, go work on that one. We have a job to do. Our job is to sell Obi, and Nigerians have a job to do, and their job is to not just sell Obi, but to vote Obi, protect the vote, and ensure that the vote counts and Obi become president. So those when they pray, they have a job to do to pray to ensure that the election will be hit-free, Obi becomes president. And those when they defend, take people go court, they have a job to do to ensure that INEC will do the right thing and every other thing. Our vote and PVCs will be protected. So I beg everybody to do their job. Nigerians, I dare say that right now, it's not just a fight for Obi, it's a fight for our lives and the future of our country. I am not seeing myself as fighting for Obi. I am seeing myself as fighting for myself. Because if we miss this chance, the story of Nigeria today continues for another 4 years. People go, they catch people for streets, they kill them, they use them, they barbecue them for food. If we do not get it right, because these guys you are seeing, Atiku Abubakar and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, these guys are not interested in you. They don't look at Tinubu right now. He's being chased up and down by the United States. And the only defense that somebody like Keyamu can come and give was that Tinubu has a business interest. He has money that has been using interest. The money was not paying the normal necessary interest, and that is what. Are you out of your mind? Are you talking to foolish Nigerians? Are you talking to fool? This is a man that is facing corruption charges in the US. On the part of Atiku Abubakar. All the money taken from this country, they have invested in Dubai. Atiku Abubakar stays more in Dubai than it does in Nigeria. Yesterday, I was watching TV with my mother in the afternoon, and I told my mom, I said, if only all this money they are stealing from the coffers, if only they were equally investing this money in Nigeria, these monies were employing Nigerians. They have stolen, but they are building the infrastructure, the investment, the companies in Nigeria. Probably we will not invest too much. That is the money you don't open Nigeria for your hand. I beg you, I beg. Anyway, fellow Nigerians, we don't gist, we don't do everything. I thank Una. I thank those state people. Congratulations in advance to the Obidient movement. We keep pushing. It is not over until it is over, but we are encouraged by the signals. The Omonoba of Benin speaks to the recognition of the Obidient revolution. And he even said that he thought that some people said that they were just on social media, and some others said that they were just 3-4 people in a room that they use computer to manufacture. My people, I will leave you guys with the channels, TV, analysis of the situation, first-hand analysis of the situation of Obi support in Edo State. And I'll see you hopefully again tomorrow. God bless you.
Scenes of the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, today in Benin City, the Edo State capital, with a visit to the palace of the Oba of Benin, Oba II. He arrived to a surge of the party supporters who erupted into a frenzy at the palace where they had been waiting for him. Once in the presence of His Majesty, Mr. Obi states his mission.
We want to do Nigeria. We have a country called Nigeria, but we don't have Nigeria. We want to give the youth future. We have talented youth, too much energy. We want to put resources in their hands. We have vast uncultivated land in the north. That's our next story. That's where we want to. We want to work it. We want to be able to tell Nigeria that it wasn't a misplacing that we found oil in your place, but to start rebuilding it. Not build a government of empathy. If there's fraud, we'll go sympathize with people, show that there's governance, that there's government.
Meanwhile, the Oba of Benin had his response to the Labour Party's presidential candidate, which must have sounded like music to his ears.
Many people that seem to be what they call obedient, that seem to be obedient. That's not what they say when they are with I'm just out of curiosity, I've asked a small child, I've asked an old man, middle age, to just get a sense of what is really going on with this new guy in town. Do you know Peter Obi? I'll ask the little child. Little child. Surprisingly, they'll say yes. I said, how do you know Peter Obi? When I say little child, I mean really little child, between 12 and 14 or so thereabouts. And old men also, gray-haired, the 90-year-olds and all that. So I wonder if these people that are saying there's only social media, if they are, anyway, let me not go there. Because here, the belief truth.
Comrade Show, Comrade Lante Oriente. This is the Comrade Show.
Are you a business owner? Do you make your own products? This is your best opportunity ever. Register your brand now with the first and largest marketplace promoting Nigerian-made products. Get access to over 17 million shoppers and customers currently in need of your products. Download on Google Play Store now to register or visit ekioja.com. Focus on creating your passion. Leave the marketing to us.